Yes, patience is actually a virtue, but not when you really, really want something. If you want something that bad, you have to go out, and get it. Don't just wait around for it to come to you. Welcome to the conversation on TOSTV Network. As always, we're reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. My name is Adesuwa. So today on the conversation, we're going to be looking at something quite controversial, like with the most talked about issue in the country at the moment. But before then, I am going to be bringing you stories and happenings from across Africa, starting, with Zimbabwe. So hundreds of girls from Zimbabwe's rural regions in recent years turned to sex workers in urban centers. The rise in sex trade is due to years of drought and failed crops in the country, side stemming from climate change that reduced the chances of job opportunities. That's quite sad. And away from that to Ethiopia. So Ethiopia's parliament on Tuesday, that's yesterday, voted for an early end to a 6-month state of emergency 3 weeks after the approval from cabinet. The order was imposed in November after Tigrayan forces invaded 2 other regions, threatening the capital. And to Kenya, where Kenya has enhanced maternity and paternity leaves with full pay for teachers across the country. Teachers Service Commission head Nancy Macharia announced on Tuesday, yesterday. New mothers will now be entitled to 120 days maternity leave, up from the statutory 90 days, while fathers will have 21 days paternity leave, up from the current 14 days. And that's it for stories and happenings from across Africa. I'm going to bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa right now. Yes, COVID is still out there. I keep saying that. So do your part to ensure you and the next person is safe. COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And after that, it's straight to the big story. You're still watching the conversation on TOSTV Network. You can be part of the conversation by joining the community on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's TOSTV Network. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's TOSTV Network on YouTube. And of course, you can stream our website on www.tostvnetwork.com. Now to the crux of the conversation. The matter today that we're going to be looking at on the big story is, so it's on Abba Kyari's issue. Now, it has been trending. The whole country is talking about it. The Super Cop, who, was implicated in an internet fraud case, with the FBI, and now in a drug case with the NDLE. I'm talking about Abba Kyari. And so we're going to be looking at the position of Nigerian laws on Abba Kyari's case. And I have with me a legal practitioner in the studio, Henry Barnabas Ehi, his partner, Min Galantin, and Publicity Secretary, NBA, Buhari Bar. How are you doing? Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's move straight into it. According to the statement by Nigeria Police, Abba Kyari was indicted for quite a number of, official corruption, tampering with narcotics, exhibiting, other unprofessional conduct. But what is the chance, going by the laws that we have in Nigeria, what is the chance of him not getting a jail term?
Those are issues that will have to be trashed out in court. Whatever you have now is just mere allegations. No matter how many social media trials is having right now, the position of the law is everybody's innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law. And so whatever it is, the allegation, no matter how weighty it is, he's going to go through the process of the court, and then if he's found guilty, he'll be convicted. So for now, the position of the law is actually innocent.
Okay, so despite the glaring evidences that that's against him, there's still a chance that he could...
the evidence are for the court to actually decide. Yeah, the court will have to look at the evidence before it, the nature of the evidence, and if such evidence will actually apply with some of the procedures of the laws and the Evidence Act as well. And once it's scaled through, why not? he might be found guilty. But if he has a defense to it, then probably he might scale through. So that's why you cannot actually just come out and say he's likely to have a jail term or not.
Okay. Well, the case kind of looks closely knitted, right? Like it's tight knitted, but there's always a loophole to be explored in every case, like you just said. So, do you see any in this one that could help him maybe exonerate himself at court?
The criminal cases are based on reasonable doubt. So, for if there's any chance that doubts can occur from whatever procedure that might happen in court, then he might go scot-free. So, but it's now on the prosecution to actually tighten their case and present a good case in court. So the general principle is better for you to have 100 criminals out there than to convict one innocent person. So the process in criminal trial is usually beyond reasonable doubt. So whatever the prosecution can do, if they can prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, probably they will get a conviction.
Well, okay, I want to know how this would actually affect his upstanding case with the FBI, with Interpol, its extradition and request by the Interpol. If say he's convicted, or is convicted for this massive one that he has here in Nigeria, does that affect the case that he has with the Interpol, the extradition request and all that?
Extradition matters are very complex kind of things. First of all, we have our extradition laws, and then you also have to have treaties with countries. So fortunately or unfortunately for him, there's a treaty between Nigeria and the US, right? But that's not just it. There are other procedures that have to be applied, and there are some exceptions that can fall in. So now, where in an instance for any fugitive, the Attorney General has issues as regards extraditing the person to another country, he can have invoke his power under the Constitution to not to extradite that person. But then there must be concrete reasons, and of course you have to go to court to present this matter. So some of the few exceptions that are there are: number one, if the AG decides not to extradite, he can invoke his power, or if there is a pending case, with such person, or there's an allegation and he has to face trial, So within that point of facing trial or going to jail, either being convicted or not, that person will not be extradited at that particular time. So these are the options. So for now, going by the laws, he would have to, that process may need to pause. Though there are different opinions out there, but then going by the extradition laws, Section 3, the whole paragraph in that aspect, you might just need to pause that. But everybody knows the US, and they don't forgive, right? So the argument that probably he's trying to, or this might stall that process, does not really hold water, because there are instances where after you've fully for example, if he is being convicted and then faces trial and given a jail term, and after that point in time, the US might still call for him.
So this does not, in layman terms, this does not in any way affect his outstanding case with the Interpol, the extradition request or anything. It just might stall, but it doesn't in any way affect it.
So now I'm careful to use the word case, because the Attorney General has not, either invoke his power in any way, either to proceed with the extradition matter or to stall it. So we'll be careful with choice of word. But then when it comes to the US trying to prosecute matters, I can tell you it can take, if it takes 40 years, it can happen. There's a particular, very similar case with a popular director, Polinsky, where he was arrested in the Cannes, right? Cannes Festival. Now, that particular criminal stuff started in the 1970s, where he was alleged of, drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl, and of course, killing her, right? So because of the France and the US do not have extradition treaty, he was able to stay in the US for over 40 years, until, recently he went to the Cannes Festival, and of course his file was still there. Immediately he got to Switzerland, he was arrested and picked up. So it does not stop whatever prosecution the US will want to do, no matter how long it takes. I know on their own part, But of course, as per Abba Kyari, for now, he's still innocent. If peradventure, the prosecutions and the AG decide to invoke their powers, probably he might have a hard time.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the conversation
You're
this
welcome.
morning. Because in my head, I think I was one of those Nigerians that I thought that, this might just, put an end to the case that he has with the US. Well, thank you for clearing that up for me and then for most Nigerians.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for staying with me on the conversation this morning. Don't forget, the conversation comes to you every weekday. That's Mondays to Friday, same time, same station. So you can be a part of the conversation tomorrow. But before then, follow us across all social media platforms. It's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's TOSTV Network. And of course, stream our website at contents on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adeswelsi. Thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.